Hello, my name is Danielle Romero, and I am a lead beauty guide with LimeLife by Alcone. And I'm doing this video for those of you who just are trying out our foundation for the first time. Perhaps you got a sample from me in something like this, or even a small one, or even in like a palette. And so I'm going to show you how to get the most out of this little sample, how to use it, how to feel how completely different LimeLife is. Now, I actually had started to do this and realized I hadn't pushed play on my recorder, so I do have a little foundation that I kind of wiped off, but I do have rosacea. And so I just want to tell you a couple of reasons why this is going to be unlike any foundation you have ever used. This is between a liquid and a cream foundation. It is 50% pigment. Now, if you don't know what pigment is, this is how I'm going to explain it. A lot of women tell me, I don't like how foundation feels on my face. It's too thick and I can feel it. And I understand, because most foundations that you're using are 18 to 23, 25% pigment. The rest of that to 100% is fillers. So that's on your face. That's why you feel it. That's why it melts off. Now, our foundation is 50% pigment, so you're just depositing color and very little product. So these are the foundations. This is my demo. You can tell they've been used, but this is how big they are. This is the square. This lasts the average woman 6 months. That's amazing. So with our foundation, if you've got this little bit in here, you can apply with your fingers, of course. I do feel tools are better, always. And you can use a makeup sponge. We have an amazing blenderful that if you love sponges and you've not tried ours, you need to. You can use brushes, flat brushes, whatever tool you generally like to use. Now, our foundation is a wax-based foundation. Now, I know you're thinking, wax, it's gonna melt off my face. No. Once it smooths on your face, it stays amazingly. And if you use like a primer spray, a setting spray, it will stay even better. Now, I have found that the really silky, thick feeling primers to me don't work as well with it. But that could just be my preference because I'm so used to feeling like nothing on my face. So that silky thick primer is something different for me. I use a spray primer and then I use a setting spray. And so even though I have combination skin, it stays in place. So if you have your little piece, you can just put your finger in there and rub it between. I'll just show you the simplest way to apply it. That way, you know, this is just a sample, and depending on how much you use, you probably got enough for 2 uses. I usually put enough for 2. So put a thin layer on, but you can put it between your fingers, kind of warm it. You'll feel it immediately kind of melts. Now, I apply it first to my cheeks because that's where I need the most cover. 50% pigment is going to really completely cover your spots. If you have rosacea like me, it's amazing at it. And then I just rub it in. If you have a wet blenderful, you can actually just press it into your face, all over your face. But you do not need a lot of product to get amazing results. Now, you could continue to use this flat foundation brush and it would work just fine. And you can put it all over. If you have one of the eyelids like me, generally I don't put it on, but I'm just showing you for you to be able to see. And you can see the amazing coverage that it has. Now, I like to just blend with the buffing brush, something like this. And to me, it's very fast at applying it. But again, if you have a sponge like this, I would dampen it and squeeze it out very, very well and press it. Press it all over your face. Now I do bring it down to my neck. I like a little coverage on my neck. When I get nervous, I tend to turn red. So you see how well and how that teeny little dot covered my rosacea. Now, I could do a second layer and it would completely even out my skin tone, but I don't mind a little pinkness. And that's how you do it. You know, I just want to make sure that when you get the sample, you kind of warm it between your two fingers, or I just dot it all over and wait for a few seconds and it's going to warm to your skin. And then just rub with your brush, your blenderful, pat it all in. You can also, if you do purchase this foundation, you have a palette, you can add, if you have a face oil, like we have Due Date and we have One Drop Wonder, you can just do a squirt of that into your foundation palette and apply it that way. That almost works like a BB cream. All right. So if you have any questions, just jot them down. If I didn't explain something and you're not quite sure, or if you're watching this and you've not tried our foundation and you would like a sample, then let me know. I will put a link down here. So for this great quiz that has been created by famous makeup artists, and it is pretty spot on, as long as you know what you look like. And otherwise, if you take the test and you tell me this is what the test said, and I know you, or I have seen your pictures on Facebook, then I might say, oh, okay, we need to look at this. Or I might just tell you, I need you to stand in front of a mirror, no makeup, and take a picture and send it to me. And then that way I can see. But generally that test is quite perfect at telling you what shade you are. And it'll also tell you which concealers go along with it. Our concealers are about 70% pigment. So they actually are used by makeup artists to cover tattoos in Hollywood and print and on film. So I hope you learned something. And again, just remember, apply a little bit, rub it between your fingers to warm it, pat it all over, or just pat it all over and your face will warm. Blend it in with a brush or a sponge, and then set with powder, set with a finishing spray. And I think you will absolutely love LimeLife's Perfect Foundation. All right, thanks for watching.